Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Come to see in an official or professional capacity. The governor visited the prison. Go to certain places as for sightseeing. Did you ever visit Paris? Go to see a place, as for entertainment. Talk socially without exchanging too much information. Pay a brief visit. Impose something unpleasant. The principal visited his rage on the students. A temporary stay, e.g., as a guest. A meeting arranged by the visitor to see someone, such as a doctor or lawyer, for treatment or advice. He scheduled a visit to the dentist. A sale. He was visited with a terrible illness that killed him quickly. Stay with as a guest. Every summer, we visited our relatives in the country for a month. The act of going to see some person in a professional capacity. A visit to the dentist. The act of going to see some person or place or thing for a short time. He dropped by for a visit. The act of visiting in an official capacity, as for an inspection. Come to see in an official or professional capacity. Examine carefully for accuracy with the intent of verification. Look over carefully. Please inspect your father's will carefully. Go to certain places as for sightseeing. Take charge of or deal with. Could you see about lunch? Make sense of. Assign a meaning to. What message do you see in this letter? Go to see a place, as for entertainment. We went to see the Eiffel Tower in the morning. See or watch. This program will be seen all over the world. Get to know or become aware of, usually accidentally. I see that you have been promoted. Date regularly. Have a steady relationship with. Did you know that she is seeing an older man? Find out, learn, or determine with certainty, usually by making an inquiry or other effort. I want to see whether she speaks French. Perceive or be contemporaneous with. You'll see a lot of cheating in this school. Undergo or live through a difficult experience. Be careful or certain to do something. Make certain of something. Come together. I'll probably see you at the meeting. Accompany or escort. I'll see you to the door. Perceive, an idea or situation, mentally. Now I see. Imagine. Conceive of. See in one's mind. I can't see him on horseback. Observe, check out, and look over carefully or inspect. I must see your passport before you can enter the country. Deem to be. I don't see the situation quite as negatively as you do. Deliberate or decide. Let's see, which movie should we see tonight? Go to see for a social visit. I went to see my friend Mary the other day. Go to see for professional or business reasons. You should see a lawyer. Match or meet. Observe as if with an eye. Perceive by sight or have the power to perceive by sight. You have to be a good observer to see all the details. Receive as a specified guest. The doctor will see you now. See and understand, have a good eye. The artist must first learn to see. The seat within a bishop's diocese where his cathedral is located. Talk socially without exchanging too much information. Wrangle, over a price, terms of an agreement, etc. Talk socially without exchanging too much information. Songbirds having a chattering call. Birds having a chattering call. An informal conversation. Talk socially without exchanging too much information. The high-pitched continuing noise made by animals, birds or monkeys. Noisy talk. Speak about unimportant matters, rapidly and incessantly. Click repeatedly or uncontrollably. The rapid series of noises made by the parts of a machine. Cut unevenly with a chattering tool. Make noise as if chattering away. The magpies were chattering in the trees. Talk socially without exchanging too much information. Light informal conversation for social occasions. Talk socially without exchanging too much information. Light informal conversation for social occasions. Talk socially without exchanging too much information. Talk socially without exchanging too much information. Talk socially without exchanging too much information. An informal conversation. Have a conference in order to talk something over. Talk socially without exchanging too much information. Have a conference in order to talk something over. Unconsciously replace fact with fantasy in one's memory. A person given to gossiping and divulging personal information about others. Light informal conversation for social occasions. Talk socially without exchanging too much information. Wag one's tongue. Speak about others and reveal secrets or intimacies. A report, often malicious, about the behavior of other people. The divorce caused much gossip. Talk socially without exchanging too much information. Censure severely or angrily. Talk incessantly and tiresomely. Chew, food, to bite and grind with the teeth. He jawed his bubble gum. Holding device consisting of one or both of the opposing parts of a tool that close to hold an object. The bones of the skull that frame the mouth and serve to open it. The bones that hold the teeth. The part of the skull of a vertebrate that frames the mouth and holds the teeth. Talk socially without exchanging too much information. Talk socially without exchanging too much information. Assign a specified, usually proper name to. Make a prediction about. Tell in advance. Order, request, or command to come. She was called into the director's office. Utter a sudden loud cry. Pay a brief visit. The mayor likes to call on some of the prominent citizens. The option to buy a given stock, or stock index or commodity future, at a given price before a given date. A demand by a broker that a customer deposit enough to bring his margin up to the minimum requirement. A demand especially in the phrase. The call of duty. A telephone connection. She reported several anonymous calls. A loud utterance, often in protest or opposition. Greet, as with a prescribed form, title, or name. She calls him by first name. Demand payment of a loan. Give the calls to the dancers for a square dance. Get or try to get into communication with someone by telephone. I tried to call you all night. The characteristic sound produced by a bird. Make a demand, as for a card or a suit or a show of hands. He called his trump. A brief social visit. Senior professors' wives no longer make afternoon calls on newcomers. A demand for a show of hands in a card game. After 2 raises there was a call. An instruction that interrupts the program being executed. Pascal performs calls by simply giving the name of the routine to be executed. A request. Many calls for Christmas stories. Ascribe a quality to or give a name of a common noun that reflects a quality. He called me a bastard. A special disposition, as if from a divine source, to pursue a particular course. A visit in an official or professional capacity. The pastor's calls on his parishioners. Call a meeting. Invite or command to meet. The 1C conference was called to discuss the final solution. Challenge somebody to make good on a statement, charge with or censure for an offense. He deserves to be called on that. Challenge the sincerity or truthfulness of. Call the speaker on a question of fact. Consider or regard as being. I would not call her beautiful. Declare in the capacity of an umpire or referee. Call a runner out. Indicate a decision in regard to. Call balls and strikes behind the plate. Lure by imitating the characteristic call of an animal. Make a stop in a harbor. The ship will call in Honolulu tomorrow. Order or request or give a command for. The unions called a general strike for Sunday. Order, summon, or request for a specific duty or activity, work, role. He was already called 4 times for jury duty. Read aloud to check for omissions or absentees. Require the presentation of for redemption before maturation. Rouse somebody from sleep with a call. I was called at 5 a.m. this morning. Send a message or attempt to reach someone by radio, phone, etc. Make a signal in order to transmit a message. Hawaii is calling. Sports, the decision made by an umpire or referee. He was ejected for protesting the call. Stop or postpone because of adverse conditions, such as bad weather. Call a football game. Utter a characteristic note or cry. Blue jays called to one another. Utter in a loud voice or announce. He called my name. Pay a brief visit. Cause to be returned. Demand payment of a loan. Make a phone call. Call in to a radio station. Summon to a particular activity or employment. Summon to enter. Take a player out of a game in order to exchange for another player. Cut down on. Make a reduction in. Move something or somebody to a lower position. Impose something unpleasant. Cause the downfall of rulers. Cause to come to the ground. Cause to be enthusiastic. Impose something unpleasant. Compel to behave in a certain way. Social relations impose courtesy. Impose and collect. Impose something unpleasant. A temporary stay, e.g., as a guest. Spend a certain length of time. Reside temporarily. Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. We traveled from Rome to Naples by bus. Travel upon or across. Travel the oceans. Undertake a journey or trip. A movement through space that changes the location of something. Self-propelled movement. Make a trip for pleasure. The act of going from one place to another. He enjoyed selling but he hated the travel. Travel from place to place, as for the purpose of finding work, preaching, or acting as a judge. Undergo transportation as in a vehicle. We traveled north on Route 508. A journey taken for pleasure. Make a trip for pleasure. Get high, stoned, or drugged. He trips every weekend. Put in motion or move to act. Miss a step and fall or nearly fall. Cause to stumble. The questions on the test tripped him up. A catch mechanism that acts as a switch. The pressure activates the tripper and releases the water. An accidental misstep threatening, or causing, a fall. An exciting or stimulating experience. Make a trip for pleasure. An unintentional but embarrassing blunder. He recited the whole poem without a single trip. A hallucinatory experience induced by drugs. An acid trip. A journey for some purpose, usually including the return. He took a trip to the shopping center. A light or nimble tread. He heard the trip of women's feet overhead. A period of time spent in military service. A journey or route all the way around a particular place or area. They took an extended tour of Europe. A time period for working, after which you will be relieved by someone else. Make a tour of a certain place. We toured the Provence this summer. Carry on a conversation. Turned about in order or relation. A proposition obtained by conversion. Of words so related that one reverses the relation denoted by the other. Parental and filial are converse terms. Talk at length and formally about a topic. Carry on a conversation. An address of a religious nature, usually delivered during a church service. An extended communication, often interactive, dealing with some particular topic. To consider or examine in speech or writing. Extended verbal expression in speech or writing. Become part of. Become a member of a group or organization. Get people together. Get together all those who are interested in the project. Work together on a common enterprise of project. The soprano and the pianist did not get together very well. Get together socially or for a specific purpose. A small informal social gathering. Contend against an opponent in a sport, game, or battle. Experience as a reaction. Collect in one place. A meeting at which a number of athletic contests are held. Be adjacent or come together. Undergo or suffer. Meet a violent death. Fill, satisfy or meet a want or need or conscient RO restriction. Does this paper meet the requirements for the degree? Come together. I'll probably see you at the meeting. Be in direct physical contact with, make contact. Being precisely fitting and right. It is only meet that she should be seated first. Get together socially or for a specific purpose. Meet by design. Be present at the arrival of. Can you meet me at the train station?
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.